Now, isn't it thematically fitting that the final video that we record new, I got some legacy content coming out after this, but don't worry about it. But the last video that we record before Christmas, here on Christmas Eve, is about somebody with white hair. I know I didn't plan for it. I'm not trying to shoehorn it in. It's just simply there is so much news in, on, and around CD Projekt Red and The Witcher 4. We just have to talk about some of it. And frankly, might even be more to discuss as the week lingers on, but as it sits right now, god damn, man, like, when was the last time that we seen this happen? The Witcher 4 executive producer reveals Ciri's power has been drastically reduced for the game. Oh, really? So are we kind of getting included into the fact that the story arc of this game is Ciri was always great, she just needed to believe in herself more? Is that what the revelation we're going to find on this? Oh, fantastic. So The Witcher 4 executive producer Malgorzata Mitrega, revealed that Ciri's powers have been drastically reduced between the ending of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and The Witcher 4. Well, that's interesting, right? Because apparently, by other interviews, she has already gone through the trial of the grasses. She's a full-blown Witcher. This may or may not be, a decade or two after the conclusion of The Witcher 3. So you would think all signs would point to her being better trained, better understanding of the Witcher powers. Why would she be reduced? Interesting. In an interview with Games Radar, Mitrega shared the gap between her being totally overpowered at the end of the previous game and now, with the skill set we showed off in the trailer, something totally happened in between. She elaborated. We had to delve deep to consider how we would address this. We have huge respect for the lore, for both of the books, and what made it into our previous games. But this was one of the first questions we found the answer for, and it's how we were able to create this original story, which starts with The Witcher 4. Yeah, that's interesting, right? You were looking for answers, you're paying huge respect for the lore. Then why didn't you talk to the, series creator? Andrzej Sapkowski was not consulted on Ciri's Witcher role in Witcher 4. Yeah, mostly because he would have went, no, that doesn't happen. But we want to make it happen. Yeah, it doesn't happen. But famously, in another Witcher story, or rather, Witcher adaptation of Sapkowski's, adapted work, shout out Elric, he wasn't consulted much by the Netflix team, and that worked out so well, right? How could this possibly be going wrong? CD Projekt Red has admitted it didn't consult the Witcher series author Andrzej Sapkowski regarding their decision to make Ciri a Witcher and turn her into the primary protagonist of The Witcher 4. In a recent interview with Eurogamer, The Witcher 4 director Sebastian Kalemba, oh boy, they're just doing full court press on this. Narrative director Philip Weber made it abundantly clear that the direction they're taking with Ciri's character is not only controversial, but also seemingly unsupported by Sapkowski, the original author of the Witcher saga. When asked directly about Sapkowski's involvement with The Witcher 4, Kalemba admitted that the man who created Geralt of Rivia and Ciri had no involvement in the project whatsoever. Oh great, that always works so extremely well. And I'm not somebody who's always gonna simp for the author. I mean, have you looked at anything that I've said in regards to House of the Dragon and George R.R. Martin, that fat lazy sack of shit? So no, I'm not an adaptation purist. I'm just saying, if you can get some insight from the people that crafted the world that you're trying to adapt, perhaps you should lend an ear, or at least, throw over a list of questions and see what they could fill out, especially if you're looking for answers. If you don't want to piss off your prospective fan base, which you guys have done a tremendous amount so far. Actually, he's hands off, Kalemba said. But, he's not involved in the form of a consultant or whatever. We have a great relationship with him. Oh, yeah, no. So we meet with Sapkowski from time to time, discuss things. Despite the claim of a great relationship, the team's decision to fully transform Ciri into a Witcher stands at odds with established lore. Yes, the debate centers around whether Ciri can or should undergo the trial of the grasses, the brutal alchemical process that creates a Witcher. Traditionally, no woman has ever survived this trial, and the very notion that Ciri could casually achieve this feat flies in the face of the franchise's fundamental logic. In the books, women do not become Witchers, not because they lack aptitude, but because the gruesome genetic alteration that defines Witcherhood simply doesn't allow it. But she got so powerful, and then they ended up nerfing her. That's kind of crazy, right? Because then you have, the likes of Geralt undergoing the trial and him coming out the other side being a full-blown Witcher. But you're trying to say, and I'd imagine they'll probably have some half-handed reason for this, given the fact it's like, oh yeah, she was all powerful at the end of 3, and now she's in a different spot going into 4. So she got nerfed because she couldn't have gone through the trial, and she had to give up some power and sacrifice some of it in order to go through. Now she's a lesser version going into 4. Huh, weird. Yes, this is a long-standing point of canon that fans have come to expect and accept and respect, yet Weber attempts to defend the choice by pointing to ambiguous textual moments. Oh my god, this is the exact same logic that Amazon was using by saying, well, if you see Tolkien wrote of Galadriel that she was athletic, therefore she can be the commander of the northern armies and slay an ice troll in 10 seconds. It's so great. Books, Andrzej called Ciri a Witcher multiple times. Oh, there we go. And Geralt called Ciri a Witcher. Oh, see, there you go. Now we could just make her one. He said, failing to reach the straws he was grasping at. So I think that basically says that Sapkowski thinks about the topic. Well, yeah, of course, yeah, definitely. But the argument overlooks the contextual meaning behind those references. Being affectionately or symbolically called a Witcher is not the same as surviving the trial of the grasses and being physically transformed into one. The difference between the term of endearment or informal title and an actual lore-backed metamorphosis is massive and has always been crystal clear to anyone familiar with the series. And yeah, I've heard a lot of arguments, and a lot of people have been talking about this. People who are far more familiar with the source material. And honestly, yeah, that's not my realm of expertise. There are other franchises that I can talk to ad nauseum when it comes to lore. The Witcher just doesn't happen to be one of those things for me. I just see the conversation and all the back and forth, and it's like, this shit is absolutely hilarious. And then you throw on that added multiplier of controversy that is current day CD Projekt Red, and yeah, you got my attention, because theoretically, outside of the confines of canon, doing a strictly different adaptation, you can tell a good story. There could be a good Witcher story here. I hold out hope that, yeah, The Witcher 4 is good. That Ciri isn't an insufferable girl boss. I'm just also saying the people that they employ over there at CD Projekt Red, well, they aren't quite capable of delivering on those stories. Like this, CD Projekt Red franchise and Lore Designer for The Witcher 4 describes Cyberpunk 2077 players as fascist, unempathetic, and depraved, as well as poisonous and predatory wankers. Yup, if you are that upset about people that were big mad about a game that didn't function on release, what type of animosity are you going to hold for people that can draw on decades of source material on a games franchise that practically built your company? What are the types of comments we're going to hear from this individual between now and release? It's going to be something, huh? Cian Maher, of course. CD Projekt Red's a franchise and a lore designer who was working on the upcoming Witcher 4 game, previously called CD Projekt Red's paying customers fascistic, unempathetic, and depraved, as well as poisonous and predatory wankers. Maher now has been working at CD Projekt Red since April of 2023. Wow, imagine that, after all of the quality games that the studio had released have long since been pushed through the system, and they were far more accustomed to doing less than favorable work. I previously worked at TheGamer. Of course, man, that pipeline from games journalist to game developer, almost as nefarious as the Democrats in big tech. That's kind of wild. From September 2020 through December 2021 as an associate editor and then a lead features editor. That's crazy, man. You go from being an associate editor to lead features editor to franchise and lore designer at CD Projekt Red. But then again, he was also a freelance games consultant and an associate editor at GLHF. I mean, you didn't say that either. Like, come on, man. Maher wrote an article published in December of 2020 at TheGamer titled "People Who Call Cyberpunk 2077 Perfect Are the People That Cyberpunk Warns Us Against." Oh my god, nobody in... That was when the game was released in that broken buggy, I just made a word there, atrocious state. Cyberpunk 2077 was the poster child for a long time for disastrous launches. It would end up getting usurped by, one name that's at the front of my mind, Star Wars Outlaws. But to be honest, 77's probably even worse than that. It was really bad, if you don't recall. As part of the article, he declared, while I recognize that CD Projekt Red's marketing of Cyberpunk 2077 leaned into the edgelord egos of a demographic that rhymes with bin cell Oh my god. The sheer volume of people who have exposed themselves as irredeemably malicious lowlifes, wow, over the past few months, and the past few days in particular, is not just disheartening, but legitimately frightening. I was always aware of the malevolent mob, although I never recognized its alarming number of proponents, and CD Projekt Red would have undoubtedly known about this article and decided, you know what? He needs to be in charge of the lore! What the fuck? After generalizing, Cyberpunk 2077 players, he then pointed to specific examples and rightfully derided individuals who were trying to trigger a seizure in former Game Informer writer Leanna Rupert as deplorable. Oh, there you go. He used the word. Pull out the bingo card, guys. He wrote, I wonder if they realized by sending critics who have notified the world of potentially life-threatening sequences in the game videos that could trigger seizures in real life, that their actions are deplorable beyond human comprehension. Yeah, that shit's edgy as hell. It's definitely a pizza cutter, but don't you think it's just a little funny though? Anyways, Rupert wrote a piece at Game Informer, sharing that she suffered a major seizure while playing the game. During my time with Cyberpunk 2077, I suffered one major seizure and felt several moments where I was close to another. Oh, okay. I kept going because I made the decision to. Well, it apparently wasn't that major if you just decided, I just about died, but I just really need to finish this game. I felt like the decision helped me sort of slap together a small little guide for players wanting to take part in this game for fear of missing out. Oh, see? Stronger individual than the current lore master at CD Projekt Red. However, oh my god, now he's moving on to Cyberpunk 27, calling for harassing of trans people. Oh my god, this guy's a total idiot. Barr wrote, I wonder if they realize that by harassing trans writers who have rightfully and justifiably critiqued Cyberpunk 2077's haphazard and sometimes harmful representation of trans people. Yo, it's a world of cybernetic enhancement, so if you want to be a dude one day, you can just slap it on, and if you want to be a chick, you could just dig it out. That's sometimes harmful. Yeah, unlike, a bunch of those other freaks that either go through with, invasive surgeries and later go on to regret it, or they just wake up a given morning and just pick whatever pronouns they want to go with. Yeah, that's definitely, the game is far more haphazard. Unbelievable. A bit later in the article, he declared the people who perceived Cyberpunk 2077 as some impenetrably perfect game. In 2020, in December of 2020, nobody thought the game was perfect. Hell, they thought it was a perfect disaster. What are you talking about? Vast majority of whom haven't so much as played a single second of it, are a gross testament to the members of its society, the cyberpunk genre at large, paint as antagonistic. It is weird form of voyeurism that is frighteningly and almost unbelievably ignorant of itself. Oh my god. None of this is surprising coming from Mar, YouTuber. The reviewer Wild Take uncovered dozens of posts to Twitter and X showing what Mar thinks of gamers. Big shock on that one. What do we have right here? In 2020, I want muscles so I can effectively punch gamers. Oh, wow. And so I can carry cute people and dogs of any size easily. Oh, God, looking at that profile picture. I don't think that was accomplished. I didn't realize this tweet, but this is now also what I want. Wow. You want to punch gamers? You want CG to punch you? What? Me and Caitlin will punch gamers together. What? Oh, I'm doing a Bernie meme. I'm once again asking you to stop being toxic little weirdos. Look in the mirror, freak. And then, pointing that at gamers. But this guy's getting huge engagement. Oh my god. Like it says here, man, he is the franchise and lore designer for The Witcher 4. And he has that opinion, not just of the base of Cyberpunk fans, of gamers in general. So why do you think people are skeptical of The Witcher 4? Why do you think people are skeptical of CD Projekt Red? Because instead of going to the guy who wrote the lore, they're inviting in the people that are crafting the lore. Know the difference, spot the difference, and tread carefully. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.